ultimately you're going through a breakup, what does winning look like for you? Revenge, right? Like be miserable, suffer. You lost the best thing.
Right.
I'm the one that got away.
And now older you, more mature you.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
Meaning my health, my mental health, my emotional health, my physical health. How do I come out of this situation smarter, wiser, more experienced? Being honest with myself if I made mistakes, even if it's not the cause of the breakup, but what can I learn from this situation so that I can improve for myself? Okay, so let's talk about breaking up, the different reasons why people break up. Let's talk about breakups. Because I think for a very long time, I looked at breakups as a way of trying to rid the past, which it is, in my opinion, right? But there's also something to be said when you want to get out of a relationship. I'm not saying everyone, but for a lot of people, they want to be petty. They want to win in the breakup.
Nessa, this is you, right?
100%.
Nessa, you want to win in everything in life.
Yeah, but that's because I'm competitive.
Yeah, so of course.
It's because I've been programmed by capitalism to compete against everyone.
So winning
and to
in
step on anyone and
relationships.
everyone for my own success. I'm kidding. But I'm just saying breakups for me is like winning in radio. It's winning something in the sense of I want to win in this situation because I don't want to be here carrying all this baggage, even though I was carrying all the baggage, even though I was devastated or I was done wrong or I was disrespected or whatever it was. In my mind, I still wanted to win to feel better about the situation.
Okay.
So that was the drive of trying to win. And what I mean by winning for me in this situation, when we're talking about breakups, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I think a good amount of people might understand it. It's walking away not feeling completely destroyed, or at least not as destroyed as the other person.
I think there could be another definition for winning in breakups.
Okay.
Wanting your ex
to suffer.
To suffer.
Yeah, but that's my point.
There's two definitions of winning here. Multiple, maybe.
I think ultimately, if I had to summarize your point and my point, it is you wanting to see someone do worse than you.
Right.
Doesn't have to be so bad in the suffering, but as long as they're doing worse than you, that is a win. It's a win.
In a breakup. What about a friendship? What about a friendship breakup?
Let me think about that. How do I feel with people that I don't really talk to anymore? I don't think of it.
Yeah, because that's kind of more mean because y'all used to be friends. But it's the same thing, though.
I think it hurts more. For me,
shared love.
Yeah, I think there was real, genuine love. It wasn't based on, intimacy or it wasn't temporary. And, you think you're going to be friends with people for a long time, but then it comes to an end because you grow apart or, you just view things differently.
I read somebody made a good point. People come in your life in seasons.
Yeah. I learned that one from Eric Reed.
Oh, okay.
One of Colin's best friends. Like he really, Eric is just so like level-headed with things. Yeah. But I remember him sharing that, and I do think there is value to that, right? But I do think breaking up in a friendship for me is more devastating than a relationship. Assuming the relationship isn't something of 20 years with kids and all that, because that's difficult, right?
I mean, could equally be difficult with a best friend from
because that person
young.
Well, again, time, I don't know. I used to look at it like, oh, I've known this person for 20 years, but I could meet somebody and feel a stronger connection with somebody that I met within the last 2 years.
But when I say best friend from young, I meant consistently. Like, if you were consistently friends. But breakups, either way, very difficult. Now, you always want to win a breakup.
I do.
You always want to win, period.
I do.
So what are some ways that you can win a breakup?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? Because unless they're suffering, it's not a win.
Okay, because you've been in breakups.
Oh, well,
so what to you was a W that you were able to take a shower that day and not think about them? Like, what was a W? What was a win for you?
If they were blowing my phone up and I didn't answer.
So that was a win. Like
that's a win.
If you didn't answer.
Ignoring them. But I'm not good at ignoring.
You're not.
Yeah.
That's why you had to
You're
block.
really good at ignoring. Yeah. You've taught me that over the years.
I ignore your emails now and we'll be sitting right next to each other. And it has nothing to do with me not breaking up with you. I just don't want to answer.
Yeah, no. And I've had to learn how to compartmentalize you as someone I love, but really annoy me. But I would say that's a win, right? Back to that. Them on your line nonstop and you not paying any mind to them. That's a win. That's a win that you wanted me to understand.
Being able to avoid all contact.
Yes, but that was very hard for me because I wanted to prove my point and I wanted to remind them that you did me wrong or you hurt my feelings.
So was that
or
ego?
Whatever it is.
Was that ego? Was that ego or was it wanting to be right?
Or is
both. It the same?
I think both. The ego in me
was like, you're going to hear me.
Yeah, I wanted you to know you messed up.
Right.
Because you have to know you messed up.
Right.
Because how could you mess up? You know why? Because I don't like to mess up.
Right.
I don't like losing in general. Doesn't matter. I'm not
you
saying
just wanted to let them know I had no part in this breakup.
Yeah.
This was all you. And maybe not no part, but this is really a breakup because of you.
Yeah, because you messed up.
Because I'm great and I'm a catch.
Yeah, and I want you to know that this is your dealing. So in 20 years from now, when someone says, who's the one that got away?
You're bad.
You will always remember me as the one that always got away.
Okay, what's another win for a breakup? What's another breakup win?
I think we should focus on more healthy strategy than mine.
Versus petty ones?
Yes. So I found this article. It was in the publication In Style.
Okay.
And they were talking about different advice for someone who wants to win in a breakup.
Okay.
So yes, to our point, avoid all contact with your ex.
Right. Okay.
I agree 100%. You know who's really good with this? Lino, who does our hair.
Yeah.
Lino is very big on avoiding all contact with an ex.
Right. Good for him.
Yeah.
Mature.
Very mature.
Yeah.
Way more mature than me. Okay. Don't compare yourself to this person.
Ooh.
So if you're hearing about them doing XYZ or
they're talking to somebody,
they've appeared to have moved on, they're whatever, don't compare your situation with them because then you're going to constantly feel like, oh, they have a one up on me.
Right.
There's no one up in a breakup.
Right.
Once you understand that, you will be so much more mature and light years ahead of me.
In relationships.
In life.
Like you shouldn't, I also heard this, quick tangent, but still something maybe we can talk about later. You shouldn't keep tallies in relationships.
Very important.
Even though I'm probably winning when it comes to me and Tone's relationship.
God. Okay. Another way is having a glow up. So basically,
that's revenge. That's petty.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it? I think it's called revenge body or something like that. But basically, you take care of yourself. You're all about you. And it starts to show in different ways. But I think it's just as equally important, if not more important, your mental, your emotional health. Like that really, really matters. Work on that. The physical part, of course, because at least for me, working out makes me feel good from the inside, right?
You know what, too? Sometimes breakups really help because they're the catalyst to, your new lifestyle, taking care of yourself, starting that business, doing all these things because you want to show them, I could do this.
Right.
While you were hating on me saying I'll never get it done.
Right.
Pow.
Look at me now.
Look at me now. W.
Six pack. Biceps.
8
Strong
pack.
back. Yeah. Okay. Another way to win out of a breakup is letting go of your anger. So I think this is really important because it talks about you're not necessarily giving this person a free pass, but you are letting go of it so that you can move on. And I think this is really, really important because forgiveness also falls in this bracket, in my opinion. People are always like, forgive that person. It's not for them, it's for you. And I never really understood what that meant. And I still kind of don't.
Right.
But I think it's a matter of what are your expectations that you're holding on to. Right. If you expect this person to come back and apologize to you because they are in the wrong, it's not going to happen.
You'll never get over it. You'll never get your closure if you want them to admit or anything.
Which is where I was stuck at for a very long time.
I know.
And not just relationships. I'm just talking about if I was ever done wrong by anybody.
Right.
I wanted you to acknowledge it and tell me it. And that's never going to happen. So you're going to hold on to something that you're never going to get, which means you're going to just be angry and miserable.
Right. And I think even better than the word forgiving someone is becoming at peace with the situation.
Exactly. But what is peace?
Peace is when you can find in yourself that you're okay leaving this as is.
Right.
You don't need to hear from them. You don't need to get.
You don't need validation.
You don't need their
them.
validation.
Right.
You don't need anyone else's validation. You don't need
right.
to keep talking about it. Your peace is, I've thought about this, and this is what I would do when anything would hang me up, right? I'd be like, all right, I'm going to let myself overanalyze and think about this for the next hour and think about whatever it was, a mistake or just something that I felt like I was done wrong. I'm going to think about this and harp on it for the next hour. After that, I'm done. So Katrina, go ahead. Let your mind.
Do you put a timer on or something?
I don't put a timer on, but I'll look at the clock. I'll be like, oh, it's 4:07.
When did you begin practicing this though?
This has always been something. I don't like being mad. I don't like holding that. It doesn't feel good in my body. It doesn't make. I like being happy. I like.
Do you find yourself though when you don't resolve it, or have you ever felt like I just avoid dealing with things?
I do that too
because you don't want to deal with the anger, the resentment, the discomfort of it. So then now you become in almost avoiding everything.
Correct. I think that's one thing I probably have to work on more. I prefer to avoid things than get over emotional about something. So I'll think in my head, I'll be like, all right, what's the bottom layer of what's going on here? And why is this a problem to me?
Yeah. But I think that's important, self-reflecting. Yeah. And I think that is growth for you, because I really didn't see that from you 14 years ago.
Which part?
Self-reflecting or just anything dealing with it. I feel like you've grown substantially in that department.
I guess so.
Self-reflecting is really important. A lot of people maneuver, and I've been, part of this, I would say, crowd, where you just keep on functioning in life without self-reflecting. And that was something that I really wanted to work on. I've always self-reflected, but not to the point where I am now. But it's kind of one of those things you said, you don't want to do it so much that you're so in your head.
Right.
But it is important to self-reflect and to understand what is the root of the issue.
Right.
Why do I feel this way? And what can I do to solve this issue?
Right. And I think self-reflection, too, is just that without action, right? So I could self-reflect my whole life. Like, oh, I know that this goes wrong because I do this. Right. But unless I'm going to act upon it, that just means I'm okay with it continuing to go wrong in my life.
I think that's really important, especially when we talk about all the different tasks and spreadsheets that you have open, that you haven't completed. That's part of our work right now.
But it's really just thinking about that. Like, all right, until you fix this, your life is going to continue having to deal with this at this space in your life.
Your to-do list is still going to keep on piling up. Right. You're still going to have...
Nessa, I was actually talking about bigger things than my checklist.
There's got to be something on your to-do list that you had for years that you had to do for
Let me tell you something funny, which might make you mad, but I don't care. I used to have this one long to-do list. It was just so long, I made a new one with just the 5 things I need to get done every day or something.
Yeah.
So if I look back probably months ago, there's probably something that just never got done because I'm like, when am I ever going to get to this?
Like what? Because I know one thing.
Well,
I'm not going to do that.
This is a tangent sidebar that we're talking about now.
This could have resulted in a bad situation. You know what I'm talking about. And I know that was on your to-do list for over a year.
Anyway.
Right.
Self-reflection is only that without action.
Right.
So until you get to a point, for me, everything is all about being logical and trying to peel back what the foundation is of the situation, which I've tried to do with you. I'm like, hey, so what exactly is it, that we're trying to accomplish, or what exactly is it that we're mad at?
Right.
Like, peel back all the layers. And yeah, I think that's important in any type of resolution toward a breakup, winning a breakup, or anything in general in life.
Ultimately, you're going through a breakup. What does winning look like for you?
For me?
No, I'm just saying in general, right? I mean, you're in married child's like relationship. There's,
right.
I'm just saying in general, younger me had a different outlook on what winning was. Revenge, right? Like, be miserable, suffer. You lost the best thing.
Right.
I'm the one that got away.
And now older you more mature you.
It's all about me.
Yeah.
Meaning my health, my mental health, my emotional health, my physical health. How do I come out of this situation smarter, wiser, more experienced? Being honest with myself if I made mistakes, even if it's not the cause of the breakup, but what can I learn from this situation so that I can improve for myself?
Right.
This is about me. It's not about anybody else. And understanding that I don't need validation from anybody else.
That's a big one for you, Nessa.
Even if they don't acknowledge what they've done is wrong, that they've harmed me, that they hurt my feelings or whatever it is. Waiting for that validation, you're going to be tied up in life.
You'll never get closure.
With resentment that's just going to eat at you.
Right. Rent free in your head.
No thanks. Okay, so let's talk about breaking up, the different reasons why people break up. I think cheating's probably at the top. I'm not, an expert relationship, but if I had to guess.
Well, not instant, because some people will cheat and still be in the relationship, which I think we talked about before, for various reasons. Family, kids, money,
culture, how they're viewed, their society, whatever it is. Lots of reasons why someone would cheat and still stay in a relationship, right?
To each their own.
Right, whatever. I mean, I don't think you should be doing that, but
hey, who knows?
But that's the reality. We're older, we're adults, people cheat, unfortunately, because somebody's usually going to get hurt in that situation. And then it gets worse if you have a family, right? So anyways, we're not going to go down that tangent, but we are going to talk about cheating in the sense of it impacting your work.
Okay.
Now, this was interesting. We talked about this before. We actually had on our radio show, and we had callers talking about this, and it kind of sparked a pretty heated debate.
Right.
Should cheaters get fired from their work because they're cheating on their spouse?
No, absolutely not.
So there's a company, it's in a different country, where they're implementing this, basically saying that if you're going to have an outside relationship from your marriage, an extramarital affair, or having a mistress, they are allowed to get rid of you, to fire you, because it is basically a reflection on their work as far as being a good employee, like the sense of being loyal, love values, those things, morals, these things matter. So if you can't even do that in your personal life, it's probably not going to happen within the workplace. That's what I'm assuming that this company is trying to convey with this message.
Two things. Okay. One, it's none of their business. And two, do you think cheaters, do you have friends that are cheaters? Do you think they are morally wrong? Do you think they can't be good friends? Do you think they can't be good employees?
I don't know. That's tough.
It's two separate things.
I'm trying to think if anyone I know in our circle is a cheater.
It's two separate things. Do
you know a cheater?
No, because it's so taboo. You don't talk about it. You don't admit it.
You know why?
Because you'll get judged for it.
Exactly. But I hope people around me aren't cheaters.
Right.
Because that would be really devastating to me.
Right.
I don't know. It'd make me feel, I'm going to be honest, it called me judgy, but I might feel a bit, I don't know, withdrawn from them.
I have a question. This whole stigma about cheating, like, that's each person's prerogative, right? Like, who are we to judge somebody that wants to get it in somewhere else?
What do you mean?
Like a cheater, right?
Yeah, okay.
A cheater's cheating. Should we really judge their whole person? Because
I don't think it's about judging a whole person.
They like to be intimate with someone else. They like to kiss other people outside the relationship.
I think you should be honest with your family, because your family's also my friend.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's not about judging. You could do whatever you want in this world, or at least that's what we have been programmed to believe, right? But there's always consequences to it.
Right.
You could do what you want, but there are consequences. Right. For me, if I found out you were cheating on Tone, I would feel away.
Right.
Tone is my friend. He was my friend first.
But by the way, I'm not cheating on Tone.
but take that outside. Let's say I knew you first, right? And
let's say you don't know Tone.
I still would feel weird. I don't necessarily think I would cut you off, but I think we'd have a discussion like, hey, first off, you're in a relationship and you have a child together. And why are you cheating?
Right.
And if you're cheating because you're not happy, well, then you need to resolve that and not allow your family to suffer for it.
Right.
Assuming Tone in this situation, this hypothetical situation is impacted by it, right?
I'm just saying.
Because it's harming someone, and harm to me is a very interesting thing. I'm not saying that we can avoid everything in life, right? No one is perfect. No one has gone unscathed, right, in this situation. I do think we're grown-ups. I do think there's some more accountability on us.
Right.
I think cheating in college, in high school, is completely different than cheating when you are married in the sense of the weight and the ramifications it has.
Right.
And maybe I'm looking at it from a perspective of, I'm in a relationship, a long-term, healthy, loving relationship. We have a baby together. We have a family together.
Yeah, it'd be devastating.
If Tone cheated on you, and I love Tone.
It'd be devastating.
Again, Tone was my best friend before you. I love Tone. Somebody can try to tell me, hey, Tone is really a villain in this world and he's I wouldn't believe it. Like, I love Tone.
Clearly, you go to bat for him every time.
Every time. If he cheated on you, was cheating on you, I would feel away. I'd be disgusted. I'd feel very upset and I'd feel angry.
Listen.
You have a family. We're grown. You're out here cheating.
Right. I agree.
Have a conversation with Katrina. Do what's right for the family and don't disrespect her and your family.
I agree. I think cheating is bad. I think it's disgusting. I think you should not do it. But I wonder, are we so programmed to thinking that?
Cheating is an issue if
because
the
why,
assumption
because
is
why I'm just saying, are we so programmed to think that? Because
yes, because the problem with cheating isn't that it is a two-way party situation. It's one person doing something that the other person doesn't know. That's how I'm defining cheating,
but listen,
right?
What I'm saying is
an open relationship is completely different.
I'm just saying I've been on this hype of really doing things that make you happy. Right?
I think you should be able to do things that make you happy without harming other people.
I've been on this hype, and listen, again, for the record, I do not condone cheating.
You do.
No,
if it makes someone happy, you're saying
no. But I've just really been on this hype. I've just really been on this hype of what is it that you want to do?
Candy makes me happy. Eating terribly makes me happy. Right? Bad decisions can make me happy. So am I supposed to be doing everything in life that only makes me happy, even if it's causing harm, not only to myself, but to others?
I guess so. I guess you're right. Listen, I don't agree with cheating. I'm just trying to flip the perspective because we're all been programmed to think cheating is so bad. And it's so bad.
It's only...
But maybe the difference is cheating versus open relationship.
That's my point. If you have an open relationship, that means everybody's on the same page, that we are doing our things separately at different times or together or whatever. Everyone's on the same page. Cheating in this context or in general, for the most part, is you doing something that your significant other does not know, is unaware of. And more than likely, the reason it's cheating is because you don't want them to know.
And you know what I'm thinking too? I'm thinking if you want to cheat, just break up.
It's easier said than done.
100%.
Right?
I agree with you. It's easier said than done. But I just think, like, bro, if you're going to cheat, why put your whole family, why put everybody in that situation? Clearly, you need to talk about why you want to cheat. Peeling back the layers, right?
Exactly.
Why do you want to cheat? Because you want to get it in with more people. You're not satisfied in the bedroom. Because you want more of an emotional connection. Why do you want to cheat?
It's an unfair thing to say unsatisfied in the bedroom, because that now puts the blame on the other person that they're not satisfying. But really, you might just be a sex addict.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
and that's
I just wanted to clarify
that's not on anybody's onus here.
Right.
You're not satisfied in the bedroom because maybe there's something you want to do that the other person is not uncomfortable with.
Right.
Or maybe you're just a sex addict and you just need to get it in.
Whatever it is, right?
Whatever it is. All I'm saying is, why do you want to cheat, right?
Right.
I'm not saying it's okay to go cheat, but you need to look within yourself and realize why you want to cheat, right?
Yeah.
And figure that out. If it's because you want to get it in with people, then you got to have a conversation, because maybe open relationship is more of your
thing.
speed.
Yeah, and maybe everyone's going to be on the same page.
And maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it is, okay, why do you want to cheat? Oh, because you're not getting the emotional support that you wish you got from your partner anymore.
Go to a marriage counselor, a couples counselor, whatever.
So I'm all for peeling back the layers and finding out the reason of why you do it. I'm not condoning cheating, but I'm saying if that's what you want to do, you have to figure out why it is and remedy that so that you can continue to be happy in your life.
So you don't think how someone's personal life...
Huge tangent.
Well, I mean, you're saying how someone is in their personal life doesn't necessarily mean how they are in their workplace, in their career, right?
Right, because what if it's just all those problems, like, oh, I'm not getting the emotional support from my partner anymore.
Right.
So I'm finding it in this
well,
space.
Maybe to this company's point, right? Because they're not tolerating cheaters in the workplace. If you're cheating on your spouse, you're out of there, right? But maybe they're looking at it like your energy is spent on trying to be sneaky. You're taking away from productivity.
How do you know that? What if their work is better because they're trying to get it done faster so they can go get a little afternoon thing so they can get home to the family before then? How do you know?
Maybe that's the way. Maybe we should encourage cheating. No. Maybe if I encourage you to cheat more, you'd get more things done on your to-do list.
It would just add to the list. Cheating. It would write cheat on tone would be on the list. That would never get done.
Okay, so would people cheat less or stop cheating at all if their jobs or careers were impacted by a no cheating rule at their workplace?
They get sneakier. If people want to cheat, they're going to cheat because they have something unresolved in their life that they're trying to fill.
Right.
So they're just going to get sneakier. Listen, if my daughter wants to eat candy, guess what she's going to do?
She's going to find a way to eat candy.
She's going to find a way to eat candy. She's going to sneak around and she's going to eat the candy.
I do think maybe some people might think twice a little bit more. Ultimately, will they eventually do that? Possibly.
Right.
But I do think there is a bit more of a hold up. It's like seeing a yellow light.
Right.
You're thinking, should I speed up through this or should I slow down?
Is it worth it or not?
What is worth it in this moment?
Yeah. So you're right. It'll slow them down. But if people want to cheat, they're going to cheat. Not us, though.
Yeah.
We're not cheaters.
Katrina, you've been defending cheaters a whole lot lately. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about feeling unappreciated.
Okay.
I feel unappreciated by you, Katrina. And I feel like if I didn't exist... I feel like you would really appreciate me. I've been saying this to you for years, by the way.
But this is just something you say.
Yes.
It's just something you say because I appreciate you. Like, what do you need me to do?
No.
You need me to wear it on my shirt that, hey, Nessa, I appreciate you?
No, I want you.
You need me to post it every year on your birthday that I appreciate you?
No, not my birthday. I know some people who feel a way about that. That's a whole, we'll talk about that differently. But
yeah. Not getting a birthday shout out.
Yeah, I mean, because I don't even remember my birthday. A lot of times I wake up, I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. You've been sending me a text message. Right. But I want to talk about appreciation in all types of settings.
I appreciate you.
Do you?
Yes.
You know what? My love language is action now. It's not enough with just words.
Like, I appreciate you.
I need you to sing as an action for me. But I want to talk about this story. It was very interesting. You have I don't know, I feel like you have an issue with this story, okay?
Yes.
This man wanted to teach a lesson to his family, okay? So he decided to fake his own death, all right? And this was his way of bringing his family closer. He wanted them to start appreciating him more. That was his lesson. So he faked his whole death. At the funeral, he decided to show up and surprise everybody.
In a helicopter.
This is a real story. Check it out. We got it from the New York Post. And basically, he wanted to teach his family a lesson that, hey, we need to be together more. We need to spend time together. I felt unappreciated. Nobody was checking on me.
Right.
But now that this funeral of my fake death is happening, now you all want to show up. Now you all want to spend time. Now you want to care about my existence. So basically, he did this to teach a lesson. Obviously, some people were upset with him.
Right.
I would fall under that category. 100%. And other people were happy and relieved to see him, and hopefully they're not taking him for granted.
I would be relieved and upset. I think this is stupid. I think this is ridiculous. I think he's crying for attention. He's just like a little kid that is not getting enough attention. Listen.
Well, I think that's the point. He's saying, I'm not getting attention from my family.
Yeah, but this
you guys
is not
don't
the way to do
appreciate
it.
me. I've helped you all. I'm the father here, and you guys treat me horribly. So now I have to teach you a hard lesson.
This is not the way to do it. First of all,
well, how else are you going to do it?
It's too expensive, first of all. He faked his own death, meaning he had a funeral. They sent out invites.
Sure.
He took a helicopter
Okay.
And landed.
He's MacGyver.
As they were. What MacGyver got to do with helicopters?
He's MacGyver.
MacGyver being helicopters?
I'm sure he would find a way to get off the helicopter smoothly.
MacGyver's a fix-it guy.
He can make... Okay, he was smooth when he landed. Was he smooth?
Anyway, they took a helicopter down.
Okay.
He got off the helicopter and he said, hey guys, I'm actually not dead, but now that you guys are all here, we need to get together more. Guess what would have been a great way to do this? Less expensive and less traumatizing for his family. A phone call.
No, because they're not even answering his phone call.
Okay.
This is coming from the person who clearly doesn't appreciate anybody or show their appreciation.
Anything else other than this. This is taking it way too far. This is out of line. This is out of line.
I think this is...
He's crying. He's a little crying baby.
He is. He's crying because he's not getting attention.
Cry to them.
He has been neglected by his family.
There has to be some other way. This is ridiculous to me.
Let me ask you.
This is all for clout. Sorry.
Doing it all for clout. Doing it all for clout. But here's the thing. In this day and age,
right,
we are selfish primarily. And let me speak for myself. I'm
selfish.
Right? We tend to take people for granted. Mm-hmm. And that, I feel like, is part of human nature. We don't appreciate people till they're gone. Right. We see it all the time in our industry. We see a musician, a celebrity pass away, then all of a sudden we want to start streaming their songs or watching their movies or whatever it is because we didn't really appreciate them while they were still here.
Right.
We see it happen all the time.
Right.
That is, unfortunately, I feel like part of human nature.
Correct.
So how do you hammer the point in that we should appreciate each other while we're still alive without a phone call? Because clearly people aren't even taking phone calls. We talk about how much we hate phone calls.
Send a real heartfelt message. Nessa, someone's written you a card before, right?
And?
But they were able to, listen.
Who wrote me a card?
On your birthday, you got a card when somebody sent you a lot of heartfelt messages in it. Because maybe they felt like they couldn't get a hold of you. They couldn't talk to you.
I never got a card with that message.
Well, you got a card with other things that people wanted you to read.
Yeah.
Well, to the point that if you send a card or if you send a handwritten note,
do you think a card is going to...
I'm just saying, this is ridiculous. You need to call your family and be like, yo, how come you haven't seen me? What's your problem?
But I think the point is he's exhausted of trying. All these other different avenues.
He could have done it without the helicopter. Why he had to do the helicopter?
Yeah, okay, he could have came in a car. Okay, he could have just rode up in a car. Would that make you feel better?
Did he have to do the full-on funeral?
Well, how else are people going to understand the seriousness of this situation?
I think playing with that is playing with...
Look, it's not... I'm not saying you should play with death
karma,
ever.
Jinxing, like,
right. You should never, what are you doing? You should never, ever do that. You shouldn't play around with that, right? But still, I think the bigger issue in this is that, wow, he had to go to this extent to prove a point. What is wrong with us within our society, within our own homes?
Well, did we mention...
that we don't appreciate people, that they feel like they have to go to this level to do this?
Did we mention that he's a TikToker, that he's an influencer, and he recorded this whole thing? Do everything for clout. He could have done this in a whole nother way, Nessa. I think this is ridiculous.
How would we know about the situation if he didn't record it and if it's not published?
We wouldn't. Why do we need to know about it?
Because I think
this is a personal problem that he's having.
I think it's a reminder for all of us.
Great.
That we shouldn't take our loved ones.
Make a Twitter thread, man.
Yeah, but who cares about a Twitter thread?
Are
you kidding? There's people who don't care to read anymore. Do you know there's like a whole movement? Like, I don't want to read literature. I don't want to read anything. Apparently reading is not like a fundamental necessity nowadays, right?
I read this Twitter thread where it's like, all right, you need to go see your parents more. And here's why. Imagine we don't live in the same place as our parents, right?
Right.
Imagine at the age we're at, we see our parents, what? 3 times a year?
Yeah.
So let's say we miss one of those times and think about how much more time our parents have to live. So, and you can make this our friends too. Even our friends back home, right? Yeah. I'll see them 4 times a year, right?
Yeah.
How many more times am I going to go back home?
But you appreciate them more because you don't see them as much. I can guarantee you that.
So you think this guy doesn't see his family and friends, and they live together?
I think no. He's also talking about other people that aren't spending time that's within the family structure, right? Like, to
the point, let me just finish the Twitter point. So let's say even our friends, right? Mm-hmm. You see them 4 times a year, right? So times that by, let's say 10 more years. Mm-hmm. And that's just being like only 10 more years. So that's 40 more times. If you take away 1 or 2 of those times and they take away 2 or 3 or 4 of those times, you're only seeing your friends or your family 5 more times in your life. Like, bro.
The common thread here.
And my math was terrible there, by the way.
But the common thread here is removing your presence from a situation, right?
Right.
Be it this story or be it your scenario.
Right.
Ultimately, what we're saying is that humans, not all, because I hate, I'm sure someone's going to be like, you can't generalize everybody. We get it. But in totality, human nature, we don't appreciate things until they are removed from us, until that time is limited with us, right? So I think that's the point he's proving.
I think he could have sent them the Twitter thread that I read. I'm dead serious. Hey, we probably only have to see each other. We probably only have 10 more times to see each other before one of us passes away.
Right.
Let's see each other. God, a helicopter, but I think bro, humans, give me that money.
I think we're complicated. I think humans, it's complex.
Do you agree with what he did? Let me
I don't agree because I think you shouldn't play with death, right? But I do understand him wanting to pull himself out of the situation, his accessibility to make people appreciate the access that they did have to him.
It's ridiculous.
So maybe it's hey, I'm gonna go to a different country. I'm gonna leave
yeah,
for a while. I'm going to give you the cold shoulder.
Make them miss you.
But ultimately, sadly, human nature, we don't appreciate people until it is permanent that they're gone.
Nessa,
unfortunately,
I appreciate you.
Show me through actions and finish your to-do list.
I'm gonna ride a helicopter to show you.